So then they give us Tom Brokaw. He may not be the most trusted man in America, but, well, what do you get? You get what you pay for. And NBC is shooting its way across the airwaves, so you're getting all what they call your truth. Eat it. And in 1993, spring break, Fryer and Smitty and, geez, for some reason I can never remember. This is a terrible thing to say. There was somebody else in the car. We went to South Padre Island, Texas, drove down there. And the thing is, driving down through there at the end of this a day-long trip, whatever, taking turns driving, all that stuff. We're coming through in the middle of the night and we're seeing signs like Walls Drug in south of the border in South Carolina. Walls Drug in South Dakota, I think. But seeing signs for it coming every fucking 5 miles. Waco, Waco, Waco. And I'm driving, I'm going, shut the fuck up. You know, if you can let your mind drift, your body will do the work and you'll get where you're going. But if you got a guy sitting next to you constantly saying, 5 more miles, 5 more miles, 5 more miles, 10 minutes to Wapner. If you got somebody doing that shit all the time, it takes forever. And by the time we finally got through Waco, I said, I'm glad that's behind us. Jeez, oh man. I was so sick of seeing it. It stood out so much. 93. And I get down, cold and raining in South Padre Island, Texas. It's spring break, you know. Call my dad. Say hello. And he said, you down there visiting with Jesus? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't seen him. And he said, Jesus is in Waco. And I said, Waco. Koresh was there with the cult at the time while I was on spring break driving through there. It was just amping up. And finish spring break, go back, and here we've got gatekeepers all around us. One of my classes was a poli-sci class, which required us to have the New York Times, which is a reputable newspaper, and it would be dropped outside of my dorm room door every morning, and I'd look at it just enough to pick it up and get out of the hallway. But that morning back there, I saw this Waco. They'd attacked them, they burned them, they killed them all, and they let God sort them out. Didn't Jesus have a say in this? You know, wow. But and it's got Janet Reno, the director of the FBI, right there, a picture of her, and it says right there, it's right there on the front page. I saw this when I picked it up. It said, there was no way we could have known anything like this. Oh, wow. I just mixed up her and Tom Brokaw because they're both so effeminate. And she said, we knew something like this could happen, but we decided to go through with it anyway. And I was like, okay, no big fucking deal. And that night in the day room down there, there's Tom Brokaw, our next most trusted man in America after Cronkite fucking got out of there. Whatever, I don't know his story. And he's standing there and he's saying, there's no way the FBI could ever have known something like this could have happened. And I said, what the fuck, man? For one thing, you seem drunk. He always seemed drunk to me. Especially at the end, and all of a sudden he was off. They didn't even say 2 weeks. They say, "You're the fuck out of here, man. You're losing your mind. You're not our fucking guy to be passing our shit. People don't trust you anymore." But what I got out of that when I saw it, gatekeeping. I said, these fucking people. This guy is supposed to care about the news. This guy should have probably at least 4 of the main newspapers from the country that are respected for whatever reason, sitting on his breakfast table while he's eating his toast with his eggs and drinking his coffee, just a little tequila in the coffee. What do they have to say today? That's what I would expect from somebody, but instead he's just some guy gets up and does the same shit without the newspapers and reads the teleprompter. Ha! I'm more of a fucking newscaster than he is. At least I got some other point of view other than the one that they just crammed down my throat. It's got to be a very dangerous job being downtown Brokaw. But yeah, gatekeepers, these are the people, and they're involved in all of this stuff. They think they're better than you. You want to look at this guy and say, oh, he seems so nice. He seems so believable. But what I understand is when they sit in there at these little political meetings and hoo-has and everything, they're doing all this stuff, they're going, you're one of us. You're one of us. You're one of us. They're getting smoke blown up their ass too, because they're full of shit. You can't trust any of them. I'm wrong to say that. There's got to be some you can trust out there, but geez, take what they say and put the pieces together. You get more out of it. You should be able to see when they're lying, unless you've been totally snowballed. You should be able to see when they slip, but you should also be able to see when they're telling the truth. There are truths in their lies. It's how they try to avoid them. And it's funny to me, Koresh. Not only did after that summer, I went with D-Day to Fish, Alaska. And when I got back, my sister told me that the hillbilly cousins out there, my mom's side of the family, one of them said, is it true Judas went off to join the Koresh cult? And it's like, she told me that. I'm like, oh my God, this is disturbing. My good golly, how disturbing. These people were out there doing whatever the hell they're doing, eating grubs and fucking each other. That's what they think of me? They think I'm that crazy that I'm running off to join a cult. If there's anything you should know by now, is I'm not a team player. I believe that anybody who talks about being on the team, be a team player. They're the people sitting on the bench, just sitting there watching you do all the work. And I'm not a team player. It doesn't mean I can't work with others. I think if everybody did their job, there'd be no need for somebody sitting there going, isn't there anybody that wants to be a team player? So I'm not that kind of person. And they come up with that. And it said to me, a lot about what they think of the real world from out there in the wilderness. And a very exciting thing about that too, got a text. It was there when I woke up from a different time zone, saying from Pure Legend. Pure Legend texted me, and he, you know, I hear from him every once in a while. He's one of those few people out there in the world. And because I remember his phone number. I lose all my contacts, I've still got Pure Legend. He's consistent, and I remember his phone number. He said in the video, the lowest common denominator, that I had a real Koresh look. And I was like, that is just getting a little bit too weird. And I've never really looked up Koresh. What I did today looks pretty good. Looks as good as he's ever gonna again. This is the best you'll ever be in your life. Watch out for Cronkite. Watch out for Brokaw. Watch out for that. Oh, right away, that Brian, whatever his name is, that replaced Brokaw. I was sitting there going, he looks just like Brokaw, only he's sober. I said, I don't trust this guy either. It was like they cloned him. And then he turns out to be a liar. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it just amazing? The liars we allow to tell us the truth.